Okay, guys, a lot of other channels, they like to kind of mess around and, they're just like not doing it. You know what I mean? They're not doing it for me. Here, we take things seriously and we got a lot of funny videos to goof on and make fun of. So as the kids say, let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. That's what they say. So this woman's a judge of some kind on Fox News, and she is a firecracker. Check this out. Here we go.
Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton, along with the Rubin reports. Dave Rubin, join me now. All right, guys.
What's going on here? Okay, we're not going to just make fun of people's appearance the whole time.
We don't have a lot of time. Tom, I love you. You get information that Congress can't get all the time because you sue everybody. Let's talk about the big...
What is this show called? What is this show called? Your Crazy New Jersey Aunt? The news show?
Tech, Section 230. For some reason, they get protected. What can we do about their protection?
So we got Dave Rubin, our drunk New Jersey aunt, and some guy who seems to be a body snatcher of some kind.
30. For some reason, they get protected. What can we do about their protection?
The law should be reformed because the courts are misinterpreting it to allow them to engage in bad faith discriminatory activity and censorship against conservatives. They just locked me out of Twitter yesterday after I posted a tweet that they had previously found to be not in violation of their rules. It relates to the HCQ drug.
This is another example of these channels just treating their audiences like absolute dummies, because they know that nothing's going to happen with the 230 thing, but it kind of fits their dumb, pretend worldview of the worldview that they barf out on these channels that they don't believe, which is, the government should basically not exist because we don't want to pay taxes. And anything that the government does is bad. So we can't start giving policy recommendations on how to fix tech monopolies or anything like that. So what we'll say is we'll pretend that there's some law that exists that's making everything bad that needs to be repealed. Ooh, ship shape. We know that's never going to happen. We're just throwing little treats to our rube audience who we absolutely detest and have nothing but contempt for.
Completely irrelevant, and they tell me I can't go back on for at least 7 days. This is a pretextual way of getting out a leading conservative. And it's not about just censoring.
A leading conservative? This guy's calling himself a leading conservative? Who are you, Ben Shapiro? I can't see too good. Is that Ben Shapiro over there?
People for saying the wrong things. They don't want us.
Sorry, Benny Pepino.
To be on the internet anywhere. So going over the Parler may work for some time, but I guarantee you.
Man, these people are such crybabies. They're so aggrieved. They don't want us to be on anywhere except for all the biggest news channels on YouTube and podcasts and everything are conservatives. Honestly, though, if you just don't know anything about politics or news or anything, and you're just like, I want to subscribe to some news podcasts, the app that I have, which is, I think, one of the most popular apps for subscribing to podcasts, it is just, there's nothing honestly left of like Ben Shapiro for news on that thing. I think like a couple NPR shows might be on there, but who listens to that garbage? I'm just kidding. Calm down, NPR. Take it easy.
I predict, unfortunately, that Parler won't be around in a few weeks, the way things are going.
It isn't. It isn't. It isn't. They suspect.
What just happened there, Judge? Are you okay?
The way things are going.
It isn't. It isn't. It isn't. They suspect.
I predict.
I'm sorry.
What?
That Parler won't be around in a few weeks, the way things are going.
It isn't. It isn't. It isn't. They.
Okay, two. What's her name? Two is okay, Judge. But when it isn't. Two. You do 3 in a row. Something's off. Okay. They just gave somebody's alcoholic mom an hour show on Fox News. That is That is very experimental. That's almost like an Adult Swim show or something. Watch how she passes the mic, passes the floor over to Davey Rubin. Here we go.
Sometime. Right. But I guarantee you, or I predict, unfortunately, that Parler won't be around in a few weeks, the way things are going.
It isn't. It isn't. It isn't. They suspended it today. Go ahead, Dave. Take it.
Oh, my God. It isn't. It isn't. It's gone. Go ahead, Dave. What do you got? Could you imagine being on the show and Dave Rubin, when she does that, he just looks like he's about to get hit by a car. He's like, what the fuck is happening here?
They suspended it today. Go ahead, Dave. Take it.
Yeah, Judge, it's just in the last few minutes.
They cannot get the timing right. Dave! He starts talking. Well, Dave! 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Fox News. The alcoholic New Jersey mom with a horrible internet lag. That's the show.
Yeah, Judge, it's just in the last few minutes that it's not just Apple. It's not just Apple and Google Play that took them off their stores. Now the Amazon servers have gone down for Parler, so they're down for about a week. Look, we just have to keep fighting. You know, you may remember the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones when they took out about half the characters.
Oh no, come on, Dave. No more pop culture references, please. If I can't reply to AOC that she needs to go back to college, that's like the White Walkers coming to get me. You know, actually, I kind of like the judge now. She does seem like just a kook.
Responsibility for what we do. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, that violence was inexcusable. But the left has now said, if you oppose their policies, that's the equivalent of violence and you have to be removed. If you raise questions about election integrity, you can't be on the internet. If you raise questions about the lockdowns, you can't be on the internet. So
this guy's talking entirely about his own Twitter account.
After these companies for engaging in business fraud, for telling the public they're removing people for one reason, when in fact they're removing them for another. Politics.
Yeah, so this is the whole... There's like, oh my God, so many videos been uploaded in the last couple days with this exact story that they're just banning us because of... And by the way, I don't think really that many people have gotten banned. It's just this is the world we live in where it's just like you're scared at any moment that these platforms are going to kick you off, which is a great feeling when you're spending hours uploading things and editing things, and it's just like, oh, I don't know if I can, am I allowed to put this person in the thumbnail? Please don't kick me off. Don't kick me off. But this is their narrative. The narrative is that like they're just kicking us off because of a certain view. We just have a different viewpoint. But the problem is that I was thinking about is like, what does being conservative really mean? I mean, can you make out like what? Apparently, it has something to do with Trump should be president forever, and like for example on Parler, planning murders and planning kidnappings. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to be a conservative, I think, with these terms of service things. So I don't know what to tell you guys. I am so sorry.
I hate to tell you guys that between Biden and the Democrats
one
controlling
at a
the
time,
Senate
guys.
and
Come on,
everything
sweeties.
else, yeah, we're in a lot of trouble, guys. Like everyone needs to start figuring out off-ramps for the big social media things right now. They're watching this right now. There's no doubt that someone at Facebook and someone at Twitter and the rest of it are watching these shows. They're figuring out how.
I mean, the funny thing about this is that Dave Rubin has been for years and years, a couple years, talking about, if you remember that famous clip where he went on Joe Rogan and he's like, the free market will just figure everything out. This is what's supposed to happen. These people are supposed to be taking over as much territory as possible. This is the exact same thing that Jeff Bezos is doing. But our guy, who the people who love our guy so much, they're getting kind of upset that he's getting deplatformed. So now we're gonna go all the way like antitrust. This is what happens when you have a drunk lady and probably her entire staff drunk producing a show. Ready?
Nobody's coming to save us, guys. Like this really is it. We can save
use
ourselves.
the mail. So
to pass a law, it's not that difficult.
Watch, we use
one at a time, guys. One at a time. Let's get some water. Maybe eat some pretzels or a slice of pizza or something. Take a break. and maybe do a quick jog, splash some cold water on your face, and try producing this show all over again from the start, please. And here we go. I make fun of these goofy videos, and then there's there's always a very humanizing part where you just fall in love with these people, and here it is.
We use the U.S. Postal Service still, that's why, because the internet is not safe for any conservatives in terms of being protected from...
I like what he's explaining is we're just going to use the Postal Service now, and while he's saying that, she says, go ahead, what? Huh? Huh? What? You're going to use what?
Any conservatives in terms of being protected from censorship, no matter where you are.
So what did you...
What the fuck? Is anybody supervising these people? This is completely out of control. This is not...
So what did you say we use?
He said use the post office, lady.
We use the mail.
Ma! He said use the post office. I know he said, I can hear him. Ma, come on. You can't do a show. I can do it. You can't do a show.
Tom?
I mean, it may be that we just have to communicate the old-fashioned way.
You know what? If you weren't spouting off weird right-wing conspiracy theories all day, this would be adorable.
The U.S. Postal Service.
I don't know. Dave Rubin has a good idea. Dave Rubin has a good idea with logos.
You know what, Judge?
Anyway, gentlemen, good to...
Both adorable. This guy says he's going to get off the internet and he's just going to use mail from now on. By the way, I thought these guys hate the United States Postal Service. But he's like, at least I get my messages out. I'll do tweets. I'll do tweets via postcard from now on. He'll glue a picture of AOC with making a dumb face, mid saying something like these people all do in their thumbnails. And it'll be like, AOC says some real stupid stuff. This lunatic, I hate her. And then he'll mail it to, he'll print up 40,000 of those and then just mail them out to all his fans, I guess. That's a good solution. Once we're all banned from the big platforms. Yeah, we'll just mail our tweets and our posts. It's not a bad idea.
To have you both
zines. He wants to do zines. He's going to print up zines with his favorite house show. Hey, it's me, conservative Fox News guy. I saw the Pukes. I saw the Pukes play, and here's what I thought of the band, and I'm friends with the bassist.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, David beat...
They cannot make this show happen. They cannot. Oh, her name's Judge Janine. Judge Janine cannot make this show work. Literally every time they've tried to make a point, they've either talk over each other, or there's a ridiculous long pause, or Janine doesn't understand. This might be my new favorite show, I think.
Goliath, right? The little guy can beat the big guy. These things seem huge. They seem all-encompassing. They seem ubiquitous, and we can never escape them. But they will destroy themselves, and we just need to build some things in the meantime.
All right, Dave's going into his thing about that we got to fight. Okay, Dave. Okay, David, I'm going to send you some rigatoni. You'll be okay. Okay, Dave? Calm down. How's your mother, Dave? Okay. Bye-bye, Dave. Where am I? Yeah, so I think I learned a lot from this segment about tech censorship is that Dave Rubin says it's all done. We're all going to get banned, basically. Judge Janine is just trying to figure out where she is. And then this guy is going to just use mail, old-fashioned mail, to do posts. Problem solved. So this is another conservative kook guy who's been around for way too long. And check out this shot. If you can't see the shot, this is it's kind of beautiful. It's perfect. It's this wide angle shot with him with way too many screens around him, and he's hunched over. But it's really just it really, really looks like an insane person. Somebody who's just locked in this weird bunker, just talking to himself all day. That's what this shot really communicates quite well. So this guy he cannot help himself. These people cannot help themselves. these opportunists, these media vultures fleecing these rubes. Here's his takeaway. Here's his takeaway from what's been going on. Here we go.
But in case you don't feel or haven't realized it.
By the way, this is that guy, Glenn Beck. Did I already say that? Whatever. What is this on my face? Great. I'm a real splotchy mother clucker. I'm a real splotchy MF. Okay, anyway.
Yet, we now officially live in a united nation in name only. And that is because of the way the left and even some of those so-called centrists have decided to respond.
So wait a second. Let me get this straight. My dude. A bunch of Trunks supporters, they cause this whole scene. They get all worked up at the Capitol. They break into the Capitol. Some people get killed and hurt and arrested and all this stuff. Now a bunch of people are on a no-fly list too. And he's like, well, the real issue is how the left is responding to us. This is like a baby. Oh, it's not that the kid's taking a dump on the floor. It's that the parent yelled at him. What? So we got in a bunch of trouble, but that's not the issue. The issue is that they're being mean about it. So this was recorded today. And again, what this whole thing proved, we could argue about any of this stuff, but what this proved is that a lot of people, you foam up people who are maybe not the brightest, but people who are easily tricked, people who are easily foamed and worked up into a panic, into a lather. Shouldn't you have learned by now, like, hey, maybe I better ease up on the Civil War rhetoric. Maybe I better cool it with that. Maybe the dumb things I barf out to my 1.3 million subscribers can end in, maybe there's actual consequences to saying really stupid stuff to uninformed people.
Way past now being just politically or ideologically divided. The leftist coalition now includes governments, media, and big tech. And they have declared war, although a Cold War. They have declared a Cold War on us. Riots.
This guy, how could anybody watch this and not spot the phony baloney?
Foolishly have given them that event.
He just did that, like he's like doing a scene in like high school drama class or something. What the fuck? I think maybe these people are just addicted to this like little acting experiment they're doing of like, we're in a war and I'm like the general, even though I will not leave this studio, this air conditioned and hermetically sealed studio, but I'm like the general. I'm like Patton telling the troops, do what I call you to do, what I call upon. I think that's really what it is. This is just straight up like, I mean, real big time narcissism going on here.
Them on the internet anymore. They're gone. The far left has talked about breaking up these companies for a long time. Elizabeth Warren, even I think Kamala Harris was talking about breaking them up too, wasn't she?
You mean some of these people want to save you from yourselves? Oh my gosh.
What?
That can't be.
Oh. During the primaries,
my brain is still in recovery mode.
Breaking these companies up. They know that the power structure has totally changed. They must find a way to be on the side of the left. This is something I warned you of.
Wait, what? What was that? Did anybody catch that? So he's like, the left has been saying something that apparently would help you guys at this point. If you're really worried about being deplatformed, the only people who have been making any real attempts at fixing this are, like you just said, the people who are not you. The people who are that you're always demonizing are the only ones that are going to save you from this. Oh no! This civil war that's brewing. Somebody's needs to help us. Oh, it's the people you're always talking about are demons, apparently. But then he's like, but the left, what they're doing is they need to get on the side of the left. What? Wait, what? So the left, the quote unquote left, is telling them that they need to break up their businesses, which they will kill to not do, basically. That the left is gonna get on their side by trying to break up their businesses. Maybe you need to take some notes before you record, buddy. Don't improv or wing the whole thing.
4 years ago, that there would come a time when unemployment and the beginning of this transition and the economy would change and people would begin to lose their jobs and you wouldn't be able to replace them because a profound technological change is coming.
I feel like he is just totally lost. He's like, I shouldn't have winged this one. I should have done some work. I shouldn't have spent all that time washing my car for the 16th, washing my Cadillac for the 40th. What would this guy drive? He would drive like a giant, SUV or something. I shouldn't have washed my Land Rover again for the 6th time today. Damn it. And mowed my lawn or yelled at the people who mowed my lawn all day. I should have taken some notes or something. I'm a dumb guy and I need to stop doing that. Oh!
And I told you at the time, high tech will need the government and the government will need high tech.
So they're threatening their businesses by breaking them up, but they're somehow working together.
And they will work together to preserve their power and their position.
You got to take notes. You got to take notes before the show, buddy, because this is. I mean, I feel like even the rubes who watch your show are probably like, I'm not following. So they're trying to break them. They're trying to do a trust bust. They're trying to do a monopoly bust on them, but they're friends? I don't know, buddy. I'm going to go watch Janine. So basically, these guys are just using the tech stuff to foam up the rubes even more. Foaming them up, getting them all worked up, more Civil War talk. I did not know that this stuff was so widespread. I mean, it is like every one of these weirdo conservative channels. I thought it was just the Pool Man, but they are all, we're righteous warriors, righteous with our mighty flaming swords. What exactly are you fighting for again? To say that I saw a Hispanic guy at the CVS and he gave me a weird look, and I will fight for that right to say that. To say that I don't think he should be able to speak Spanish in the CVS. I will fight to the death for that right. And we will be coming for you. We're coming for you, Mark Zuckerberg. What's weird, every once in a while I'll watch like Sam Cedar or one of these channels, and they'll play like a Tuck Carlton clip or something. And something about the way these people talk on Fox News now is pretty odd and interesting. But they actually do use like class struggle language now. Like you'll see this guy who just a couple years ago was wearing a bow tie, Tuck Carlton, an heir to a fortune, a guy who's been a millionaire since he was born, since he was in doo-doo diapers. But he's like the ruling elites. I mean, if we live in a country that can't spot that phony baloney-ness, that is... And she kind of dips into this a little bit. Here, listen to this.
Of our closest...
She's talking about the tech monopoly stuff again.
...allies. So much so that they can interfere with our national interests in all sorts of ways. By selling technology and shipping jobs to China, they can strengthen our major geopolitical foe. By promoting anti-American ideologies, they can create the type of tensions that explode into riots and protests on the left and the right. Then by pouring billions of dollars into our politics, these companies can...
Oh, interesting. You mean businesses who are all competing to not have competition, which is the goal of big businesses, to destroy competition. You're saying that sometimes they can buy politics? This sounds very anti-capitalist and very Marxist, Laura. Are you sure you want to do this?
They can sow further political divisions and distort the political debate in the country.
How can people, honestly, though, even if you're an old doofus, you're an old fossil, how do you not find this woman annoying? Like, honestly. Like this smug dude. I guess I got a smug dude too, but there's just something like, she just seems like somebody like who's just really eager to shout at a barista or something.
Now, in a sense, other than the changes in technology, this kind of harassing, punitive posture is nothing really new for big business.
What?
Big business? Oh, yeah. So you guys, Fox News is the anti-big business channel now? I mean, you gotta really think your audiences are suckers to say something like this from Fox. We hate big business here at Fox News.
What?
I mean, does no one remember Mr. Smith Goes to Washington? Now,
Jesus
the real villain
Christ.
in that movie, of course, isn't really the government. It's a mogul who owns a media company and uses that company to promote his business interests.
Are you fucking kidding me? A big media company, a big media mogul, like a guy who started a propaganda channel, a quote-unquote news entertainment channel to push right-wing views because he doesn't like to pay taxes. That kind of, and then somebody went and fought him. They are straight up just like daring their audience. They're like how serial killers will like leave a clue behind because it's like part of the excitement, like it's part of the rush. Yeah, because that guy Tuck Carlton does do this. He'll do these borderline Marxist class stuff on his channel, but then at the last minute he'll swerve and he'll be like, "That's why Mexicans are weird." So she's like, this is so extreme, this case, that the government's got to step in, guys. This is a situation where things have gotten out of control and it's dangerous, guys. I wonder if there are other examples of this.
It's time for my angle part 2.
Oh, we're about to hit some angles. Okay.
AOC's climate change con.
Bam, the angle.
I have some bad news for you. AOC has insomnia, and she thinks this one thing should keep you up too.
Even while I was on vacation, I woke up in the middle of the night at 3:30 in the morning, just concerned about climate change. Glaciers are melting, our sea levels are rising.
I have a question. Does that box mac and cheese she was making come with a tinfoil hat?
Wait a second. I thought you hated the elites, these elites who control everything. But look at this petty serf eating boxed macaroni and cheese. I mean, I'm pointing out something making a really brilliant point that these people on Fox News are. I'm starting to sense these people are phony balonies. Could that be the case?
Comments about the Chinese. AOC's late night musings revealed the true agenda of the climate change crew.
This is not about like just putting solar panels on people's roofs. This is about changing our consumption. This is about living our whole lives in a way that is more sustainable and humane. We're not trying to end cows and plane travel, but we need to change our lives.
There you have it.
By the way, the sub headline here is climate change is really about government control. Oh, wait a second. When it's about Trump can't tweet about how Meryl Streep was very mean to him or whatever. That's now the government's got to step in. Now the government's got to step in, guys. Okay, what about climate disaster? That's overstep. And look at this broad AOC eating her peasant food, telling me that the government has to step in. No. When it comes to Trump not being able to tweet about a toilet or whatever, this is a disaster. I mean, business has gotten too big. Business has gotten too big at that point. At that point, business has gotten too big, okay? What about, like, mass migration and, we won't have water and, we can't grow food anymore? Well, that's government overstep. Look, I'm just going to say it. I'm Laura Ingraham. I think she's got a little bit of a Hispanic attitude. That's what I call it. Okay, Laura, calm down. You smell like wine. I'm going to say it. I'm going to finally say it. I don't like this Hispanic attitude. Laura, we got to dog whistle this stuff. So there you go. We got people foaming up the rubes. We got people, they're like, these elites. I'm a woman who makes millions of dollars on an oligarch TV station, and I'm pissed off about these elites. I mean, it's shocking. It'll never not be shocking, like how shameless these people are, that they're willing to just like treat their audience like with literally like zero respect. Zero respect. But you know what? I mean, regardless of these kooks who are kind of like distracting from this actual issue, it is creepy. It is creepy to be like, hey, am I going to put a bunch of work into a YouTube channel and then I put the wrong thumbnail or I put the wrong thing? Oh, I tagged this with the name of some idiot. Now I'm banned. Like, it is sort of like we're in this weird like North Korean mindset a little bit with this, where it's like, what am I allowed to say? Oh, those are forbidden words, sort of. And you know what's the weird thing about this too is not so much like getting banned. Like, I'm actually not worried about getting banned as much as I'm worried about like, what happens if they just see I say something wrong or I do something. This is how pathetic this is. What if I do something that YouTube doesn't like and they just put me out of the algorithm? Or they make my videos harder to find. What if I'm just completely left out of the algorithm? And what does that even mean? And what even is an algorithm? Like, it's just like total ridiculous paranoia is what this leads to. So I wish that'd be great if it was more transparent and more democratic, for sure. These people are still idiots because these people can't follow the terms of service because it's against their worldview. They have to say that, I saw a Nigerian guy. I saw a Nigerian guy in my neighborhood, and I got ready, if you know what I mean. Chick. I got ready. I got my vest on. I'm down in my basement with my vest and my Kevlar and my army surplus helmet. And they get some kind of a strike or something. They're like, this is my political views. So there you go. Hopefully this is one of those things that is going to take struggle to actually make better, not just fleece rubes and fleece dimwits, but would be great if this was if this wasn't just a North Korean situation where everybody's worried about they're going to say a banned word or post a banned person or something, an unperson, and then we get banned. But that's, this is part of monopoly power and all this stuff. Very interesting that these people are even touching on that.